Phillies get it done. They never trailed in this series to the Cubs. They complete the sweep, their first sweep at Wrigley since 2015. And it was pretty good, 3-1 win, thanks to Taijuan Walker and a couple of key hits from the Phillies. We welcome you to Phillies Postgame Live, brought to you by Cure Auto Insurance. Amy Fiddle, Ben Davis. And Ben, listen, this team is on a roll. They've won 9 straight road games. That is impressive, especially when you think about the last time they did something like that, 1984. What's been the key, you think, for this current stretch?
Pitching. Pitching and defense. They didn't have the defense tonight, but they sure had the pitching. Outstanding job by Taijuan Walker. Marte was great, and Kimbrel coming in just throwing absolute fuel up there. It was just a great team win. They got a very timely hit from Bryce Harper. I did not think that would be the last run scored in this ball game, the way the Phillies opened it up. Kyle Schwarber with a bomb. It was a good team win. Obviously, the defense did not help him out, but that's what teammates do. They pick each other up. That's what Walker did tonight with Schwarber and Marsh, and was able to get out of there with a sweep. And it's fun baseball to watch right now, Amy.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Let's go out to Northside Chicago and check in with Reuben Amara Jr., who joins us from Wrigley Field. And Reuben, Ben just said it. I don't think anybody thought the way the Phillies were kind of hitting Hendricks early on that it would be that hit from Bryce Harper would be the last run scored. But they got it done. They had to pick up a little bit of like shoddy defense you thought out there. But listen, a win is a win. And when you can get out of there with a sweep, that has to feel really good for this club.
No question about it, Amy. And I got to tell you, I mean, the job by the staff, and in particular the bullpen, I mean, I think they gave up like one unearned run the entire series. Obviously, the starting pitching was excellent, and Taijuan Walker pitching over some of those mistakes in the outfield, that's just superb, as Ben said. I mean, that's when you know you're going good, that you can have that kind of effort from your starting pitching. But that bullpen has just been excellent. They made pretty good defensive plays behind them when they had to. And you're right, the timely hitting. But I'll tell you what, it's very difficult to beat a team like that, and it's been playing pretty darn well. And they came back from London, had a long trip. But they've been playing pretty good baseball. For them to be able to sweep them here in Chicago, that's not an easy task. Great job by the boys. Every single pitch, and with every variety of his pitches, as you said, really impressive effort. And you're right. I mean, if he doesn't feel comfortable with one pitch, he can go with another. And the fact that he can do that with regularity, especially over the last month, pretty impressive.
Reuben, I got to ask you about how they're racking up these road wins. They started out 11-22 on the road. They have turned that completely around. They're 22-23 on the road right now. What can you account for that?
You know, I think it's just sort of the veteran presence. And I also have to give Rob Thomson some love. That no panic. These guys do not panic in that clubhouse. They believe in themselves. They probably know that they were sort of underachieving in the beginning of the season, but I think that they all collectively really believe in themselves, and they're just going out there and playing baseball and doing their thing. I think Bryce Harper alluded to it today. I mean, everybody's just kind of going about their business and trying to do their best to win baseball games, and they're getting it done right now. And I got to tell you, it's got to be the starting pitching for me. The starting pitching has just been lights out. It's been excellent. I surely expect that this offense is going to explode at some point. You're going to start getting a lot more 3-run home runs at some point instead of a lot of single home runs. And when that happens, it's going to be scary.
Trey Turner really starting to show off his speed, and it's different class speed. I think he's just going to keep going. He seems to be a lot more comfortable on the bases, and he's picking his spots, but he's making the most of it.
I think comfortable is the right word. Stealing bases a little bit, you know, it's sort of, you get streaky sometimes, and you get like your confidence gets lifted and you kind of go back. It's a little bit like hitting. And if you don't feel real comfortable, right now he is feeling it. He's every opportunity he's taken off. He's stealing bags at will at this point. Was it 17 that he has? 17 or 18 now without being thrown out. And it's like, you know, the catchers have no chance because he's getting great jumps. And he's a difference maker. We've known that. He's still not hitting as much as we expect him to hit as he progresses through the course of the season, but had a nice series here, and he's creating runs, and that's a big part of his game.
Yes, it is. This team, they're on a roll. They come back home and then hit the road again. We'll We'll see which place they're more comfortable. Reuben, thanks so much for
Thanks,
joining
Rube.
us. Appreciate you.
Thanks, folks. We'll see y'all.
We'll see you soon. We were talking about it, these 9 straight road wins, how that ranks. You can see it's the longest current streak since 1984. That spanned basically most of May. If they can keep it going when they hit back out on the road and maybe threaten that 1976, the year before Ben Davis was born, so you don't even remember that. But
That's going to be tough in Miami and Tampa Bay.
yeah, and these are obviously some tough games coming up. But you're thinking about this team. I mean, I asked Reuben the question. He said veteran presence helps. Obviously, the trust in their manager, starting pitching when you've got a guy like Taijuan Walker is going to help. What do you attribute the fact that they've been able to rattle off 9 straight road wins?
I think a lot has to do with their professionalism, their work ethic, and their track records. I think it goes a long way because they are very professional in their approach to the game, and their work ethic is off the charts. I wish folks could really see how hard these guys work on a daily basis. It's not like these guys are showing up at 6:30, throwing their uniform on, and jumping on that field at 7:05. This is an all-day process, and the way they prepare themselves, it's from the coaching staff all the way down. I was talking to Jason Camilli on the last road trip. He said he gets to the field anywhere between 11 and 11:30 in the morning every day. And that is something to be said for. He's in there watching film, watching pitchers, their characteristic. Maybe they fall into patterns. These are all the approaches that get into it. It's not just, rolling a ball, a bat, and a glove out there and say, go get them, boys. There's a lot more to it, and I think it's really starting to show now. Yeah,
and it trickles down. That's what you've been talking about, is that it's not just 1 or 2 people that does it. Everyone is in on that.
That's the thing, Amy. If I see you over at your cubicle up in the newsroom and you're doing all this work and I'm just sitting there twiddling my thumbs.
Every day.
It's like, I don't want to be that guy that is left out and not be. Everyone on the team say, look, he's not preparing himself.
Right.
And that's why I think these guys look at it. And having that veteran presence, it speaks volumes for guys like Edmundo Sosa, Cody Clemens, Brandon Marsh. These are guys that feed off of that, and they want to make themselves better. They see that, hey, if Bryce Harper's doing it, if JT Realmuto's doing it, then I should be doing it.
Right.
And that goes a long way.
You guys have won 9 straight road games. I mean, how?
It's great. I mean, we've played well on the road all of a sudden after a tough start. I mean, we were really scuffling on the road, and now we've kind of settled in and feel good about it.
Does it all come back to starting pitching?
Yeah, I mean, these guys have been great. I mean, I thought Taijuan was good, but I've seen him better.
Mm-hmm.
But he battled and grinded. He got into some tough. We put him into some tough situations, and he just battled right out of it. So that's a sign of a good pitcher.
Yeah, that 5th inning, right? I mean, he doesn't show a ton of emotion, I feel like, but he came off the mound and he's pumped up.
Yeah, no, he was great. He really was. I thought Marte was really good again. Soto, the relievers were outstanding.
For as much as we've talked about, the home runs and the power with Bryce, to sort of stay on that change-up and going up the middle. I mean, isn't that good to see, and can that do something for him?
I hope so, yeah. And, he lofted that ball to center field last night, which I thought, I've always said in the past, when hitters are going through a tough time and they start lofting balls to center field, I feel like their swing is getting very close. So, that 2 out, 2 RBI base hit was huge for us.
And then Schwarber, of course, first pitch. He's in that 5 leadoff homers this month. And 2 on the first pitch.
Yeah.
And that just sets the tone, doesn't it?
It does. It gives everybody some energy, and you're coming in here, you've won the series, you won a sweep, and all of a sudden, bang, you're up 1-0. It's like, okay, we're going to be all right.
As a former catcher, what about JT's play in the 9th?
I mean, how far up the line? He was, was he 50 feet, 55 feet
At least.
up the line?
Yeah.
He's so athletic. He's really incredible. It baffles me, really.
Kimball kind of, he's been on this nice little run here for a while now. I mean, just sort of like having him settle into that 9th inning a little bit when time calls.
Yeah, his velocity was down a little bit tonight. We've been really, jumping on his back for a while now. We've had all these close games when we're ahead and save situations, and we just got to be careful with him.
You said at the beginning, really ever since you became manager and even spring training, if a guy establishes himself as a closer, I'll make him my closer.
Yeah.
He seems to have done that for you.
Yeah, right now he's the guy, and there might be a time where we face a lineup that's, the pockets are so strong one way or the other that he pitches the 8th and some Soto or Alvarado pitches the 9th, but we haven't seen that lately. He's been really good.